Welcome back to the FC update. My name is John. I am your guide through the market here. We are going to be talking about investments, trading, all of the good stuff, leaks, what's coming for Ratings Reloaded, what you should be investing in, and some possible buy and sell times before we get started. So let's go ahead and hop right on in, and we're going to give you guys a recap of what just happened in the last few days because the market's been wild lately. So let's go ahead and get right into it. But if you want an even easier way, check out lootbar.gg. They have the lowest prices, fastest delivery, while being 10% cheaper than any other platform and trusted by big names like Pro Owns and Zorky. You also have insanely good reviews on Trustpilot. Additional 8% coins right now with my code John Sims at checkout. Check out lootbar.gg and get your FC account leveled up. So the market did take a huge dump today and was a huge buy day. So I was live talking about all of this stuff already, where a lot of players got in right through here, which is probably the best time to buy, I would say, until Weekend League. There is going to be another time to buy, and so you will want to pay attention, because if you are out, you will want to get in on some of this stuff. But anyways, market has come down significantly. What does that mean? Well, if you guys were in on any trades this week, like the Laguli card, we absolutely nailed this trade. But a lot of stuff did not move like this. There were so many cards that just took an absolute dump this week, and it really hurt a lot of people with their coins. So you could probably tell, like on even this Peanut card, it took a huge dump right off of the weekend. Now, typically Sundays are going to be one of your best days to buy, and almost every Monday you're going to see a rise. It didn't happen for a lot of cards, even like this Millie Bright here, same thing. There was a lot of cards that did this, even cards that are in packs that usually come up off of a Sunday, they went down on Monday. Now, that was because of the preseason rewards. That stuff is out, and so you saw a huge, just massive dump from people leaving weekend leagues to all that type of stuff. And so now we're coming out of that. Is it safe to buy? Yes, to a degree. It just depends on what EA is trying to do. So that's going to take us into some of the leaks. Right now we have a Calafiore and Houston, if I say that right. Looks like they're coming. I would say a Kubarsi link to Houston is going to be a fantastic trade. I picked up a couple actually in my video here, or wherever I'm at, but or in my gameplay, but I do have a couple of those. Now there's a João Pedro coming out, and so a Cucurella, we'll be diving into that. João Pedro should be a very, very sought SBC, I would imagine, and this looks like it's going to be a very good SBC if it looks like this is going to come out as a player pick. So I believe I believe that you're going to see some pretty solid demand through fodder, so I'll be talking to you guys through fodder here in a second. But this looks like the team of the week. Or the team that's upcoming. So most of this stuff is typically already saturated with people investing into these type of cards. A very cheeky card down here, Crystal Dunn, 87 pace center mid. Very interesting to see that one with Guli and Karchawi, also very pacey. So you might see them botches in this one as well, and Dewey as well. But there's a lot of great cards. You got Messi with an Alba link. You've got Euro. You've got a lot of this type of stuff. So should you buy this stuff that's out of packs? Sometimes. Some of these cards do very well when they're out of packs and they create hype. But I want to be very clear. If you are buying stuff that's going to go out of packs, you need to sell in the hype. Do not wait for that to actually go out of packs. It's an old fallacy of EAFC that, they're out of packs, they're going to be less rare. They're going to be more rare, and that means that there's going to be less of them on the market. Sure, there is less in circulating supply. That does not mean the price is going to go up once they go out of packs, because they're already overly inflated. So always sell in the hype. If you need help understanding what the hype is, feel free to come by twitch.tv/John Sims. But that's going to be kind of the focus on some of the cards. So like cards like Lucy Bronze, I think are still somewhat decent here, with the Lauren James coming out at 71,000 right here, and then her lowest was at 70K. Promo cards always come up. I could say that if you are looking to buy this, maybe her best time is going to be right after content on marquee matchups. Marquee matchup supply should be heavy, so you might see something like that for Lucy Bronze, and potentially some other stuff. So we'll get into a few more of those trades here in a second. But I did want to talk about silvers coming up. There is a silver tournament coming up. I assume people are going to just be going and buying as many pace players as possible. I don't know if people care about his chemistry as much because of how bad the stats are going to be. And so I think they will overhype maybe just getting as fast of cards as they possibly can and playing in pure pace with zero passing, shooting, dribbling. It's just all going to be pace. So I think what you're going to see is you're going to see a bunch of this type of stuff start to take a rise. The better the link, I would imagine, the better the card's going to do. So I would say this is probably a good option if you guys are interested in trying to take a stab at these. I don't know which ones are going to pop the most. I haven't been monitoring this market, but I did want to bring it to attention, and that was the goal of that. Now, 82s, my 83s, and my 84 informs. If you guys went in with me on my 82s, well, we did fantastic this week. Absolutely. With these like 82s, 83s. Oh, sorry, my 83s. Because I went in on 83s. The 82 market's still up. They were down at like 10K. You could have gotten these at like 10,250, and they're very, very nice with the SBC demand from today. That is a very big. The 86 market is another one that I really like right now. Now, if you have 83 informs, yes, I have it on my sell list. So I have this, guys, every day on my live stream, I actually pull up and I go through everything and I give you guys the buy and sells of the week, of the day as well, and I give you guys a full option. So 86s, I think, are fantastic. People are talking to me, John, when do I sell my 86s? When do I sell my 86s? I mean, when they go up, because these are bound to go up. So 18 to 22 is a very good place. I think I saw them peak on the hour once at like 27K, I think. It may have gone up at one point to like a period of coin, but I think they went up to like 24, 25K, and it was just there briefly, and that gave me confidence to think that those are going to hit that market. And you can see Lena Oberdorf already 4,000 coins over this. I just think these 86s are a great option, and I think they're steadily rising. And if you can get these underneath around 21, if you can get them underneath 21, I think you're in a great position to buy. And then on top of that, 84 market, I still like the 84s. I want to be very clear with the 84s. Last season, these were about 2.5K. This is where the actual what I call the market equilibrium is actually at, where the market's just been steady. So if you guys are trying to just farm coins and just grind out coins, buy these 1,200, 1,300 coins, sell them, lazy list them, and just keep on rotating. That's the 100K range, the 200K guys. This is a grind. It is grit and grind. If you've seen my video on like how to make coins, which I definitely recommend checking that out, this is the way to do it. It's really just buying and flipping. Flip, 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 flip. If you need help, I can always link that video to you. I might throw it in the description at some point. But 85s here. 85s are also going to be relatively solid. If I look at my margin here, I want you guys get in around 3.6. 3.5, 3.6, and I think you're going to look great with this. The better the links and the more ideal type of thing, the more playable it is, sure. Like a Linda Caicedo, 91 pace type of thing. That stuff kind of goes well. 86s are on my buy list as well, except for they have gone up since I made my buy call at 6.5K. So they have started to rise, which are starting to come out of the margin that I'm comfortable with until we see a new correction in the market. However, 87s and 88s, a little bit high for where I want to be at. These are up to 14K. I think you might have a better time to buy during the marquee matchup supply. So if you look here, this is Wednesday. This is where we're at technically after content. They shot to the moon just like today. It actually just happened. We shot to the moon 14.4, 14.5. And then overnight UK time, it's about 8 a.m. UK. And boom, you're at the lowest point by 8 a.m. UK. Not as much demand. US isn't buying as much. Not as many people active. And so then you went and but you see this another drop right at content. Market came down again. Most likely that marquee matchup supply. So if you're looking to buy, I'd be thinking of buying 6 a.m. UK or maybe right during that content time tomorrow for fodder. Now, doesn't mean fodder is going to be bad. I think there's a lot of demand coming for fodder, but something to worry about is when we look at active SBCs, I always think about the stuff that's going to go out of packs and is not going to be here And I believe the Goulet card is leaving tomorrow. So when that leaves tomorrow, that demand's going to be gone. You're going to see some of that stuff pull out of the market. And that's going to be your standard 83, 84, 85s. And that's going to hit that 84 M form. So be aware of that. But let's get into some of the last investments here as we study through here. So I like Cucurella. I like Bronze. Honestly, most of these cards typically rise right out of packs. The smaller budget, safer people, I'd go Wubin Moy. I liked Thalvin, but the card came in at 20,000 coins. I was hoping that was going to drop it at like 40 or 50. They dropped it at 20, and so that really is going to take an impact on this. Kubarsi is going to be a fantastic trade. If you guys can get him down around 80, 82, I think I have a couple around 82,000. With that link that just dropped, that's going to be coming out with the Houston, I imagine a lot of players are going to be super hyped about getting the two youngest center backs on rival teams and playing with them potentially together. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe there's hype because Barcelona got their Kubarsi. And then, anyways, all I'm trying to say is I could easily see that. Now, Oscar Bob's actually my biggest investment. I've gone in. I've got like 20 of these, I believe, at like, I believe I have 20 of these at like 40 or 38K. I've got a couple at like 42, 44 because we bought yesterday and then we took a dip on the markets. And so, but I went back and bought a bunch of these at 38K. We bought it at the perfect time today, and so it just happened to be right around that time. Those boom. Where was it? I mean, but we bought them at 38K, so we were in a pretty good spot there. So Oscar Bob's going to be a very good trade. I think that one's going to be do well. Jordi Alba is a very interesting one, and I believe Team of the Week cards this year are doing fantastic. So I actually really like the Oscar. I actually really like the Jordi Alba trade. The Diaz card's interesting as well, but the links are really hard for it, so I would shy away from that. The Caicedo's at 110K seems crazy to me, so I wouldn't buy that for my squad personally. Endeman's a very nice and simple trade. These 82s are very simple, but the last one, I guess, Jordi Alba is probably the one that makes sense because he does have Messi coming in as a link for ratings reload. The only thing is we did make this call at like 15.5 today. And now he's already up. So make sure you guys, if you want to get the best time to buy to maximize your coins, make sure you guys join our live at twitch.tv/JohnSims to see this type of information. But that is going to be pretty much a lot of the information that we're going to set for you guys today. There's a lot of automatic buys if you can get those team of the weeks, the cheap team of the weeks down. But realistically, guys, you can build your teams now, and then you can sell them before Friday. But remember, whenever I say a buy call, it's usually selling before content tomorrow. Right now, there's going to be an up point until tomorrow, and then there's going to be a slight down, and then it'll come back up potentially. But the only thing is, if there's going to be a crash, you have to realize that you have to sell before the content comes out, because the crash will hit pretty hard if there is going to be a crash this weekend. Who knows if there will be? It's I don't know of anything insane supply coming, but if there is, let me know. Comment below and keep this community engaged. Until next time, guys, thanks for tuning in. My name is John. We'll see you guys in the next episode.